So tired, I haven't slept a wink. I'm so tired, my mind is on the blink. I wonder, should I get up and fix myself a drink?
College students partake in a number of activities that alter their sleep schedules, but one that is common to almost all students is exams. During the academic quarter, as exams approach, students modify their sleep schedules to prepare for and take these exams. Our project looks at how this impacts their sleep schedule based on a few different types of exams.
For in-class exams, students often lose sleep in the days leading up to the exam as they try to study late and sometimes have anxiety. But for take-home exams, students sometimes lose sleep as they dedicate what would be sleep hours to working and completing their take-home exams. Both types of exams can have major impacts on student sleep schedules, but our hypothesis is that the flexibility afforded by having a take-home exam means that it will affect student sleep schedules less than a in-class exam.
Let's see what the students have to say. Alright, what's your name?
Justin.
Charlie.
My name is Emily Williams.
I'm Hannah.
And what's your field of study?
Biology.
Electrical engineering.
My major in undergrad was geological and environmental sciences, and I'm currently doing a co-dem in environmental communication.
Atmosphere energy engineering.
Cool. And can you describe what your normal sleep schedule is like during the academic quarter?
Sure, yeah, so I usually wake up every day at around like 10, and I go to bed at like 1 to 2 in the morning.
Wake up between 8:30 and 9. Go to bed between usually 1 to 2, but recently around 2:30 and 3.
I normally try and go to bed by 11 p.m. or midnight and try and wake up around 7 or 8.
Go to sleep somewhere between 1 and 2, and then wake up at 9, 10.
Okay. And with this schedule, do you feel well rested most of the time?
No.
Most of the time, but normally I sleep longer at weekends to make up for it.
Not really.
So I usually get like at least 8 hours of sleep every night, so I'm pretty well rested, I would say. I mean, I don't know that I have like a basis line to compare to, because like I have basically always gotten like 8 hours of sleep every night, so yeah.
Alright, and now I'm going to ask you a little bit about the effect of exams on your sleep schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So through your classes, do you have experience with in-class exams, like proctored either within the class period or in a specific class period for that exam?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay, and how does the preparation for and the taking of these exams modify your sleep pattern, if at all? That can be due to studying, exam-related anxiety, changes in caffeine intake, any of those.
Yeah, so I'd say usually with most sort of in-class exams, I do like some preparation, but that usually doesn't like go to the level of really affecting like my sleep schedule or anything like that.
So, and is that preparation usually the day before, the night before, in the week leading up to it?
Usually in the week leading up to the exam. Yeah.
So it sounds like pretty low overall impact on your sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Probably changes in caffeine intake and then studying more, so I might be sleeping later and waking up at the same time still.
And is this just the day before, the week leading up to it?
Just the day before. The week leading up to it, I'm more responsible about sleeping.
Okay, so you'd say the day before you may have less sleep due to studying or cramming, but leading up to it, it may actually lead to a more responsible sleep schedule as you prepare for it. Cool.
Well, I usually drink quite a lot of caffeine, and I probably drink more around the time of exams. and I also am somewhat of a last-minute studier, so I'll sometimes study late into the night before an exam.
And that's usually just the night before or the day before?
Yeah, that would only be about the day before.
I'd say they affect all those things. Definitely get less sleep. Stay up usually 2 to 3 nights beforehand, getting a little bit less sleep. Caffeine intake does increase, not hugely.
Okay, so the biggest impact is into the 2 to 3 days leading up to it in which you're staying up late studying for it.
Yes.
And do you feel like, given your study schedule, the modifications to your sleep schedule are necessary in order to have enough time to prepare?
Yes.
So far, it looks like there are a number of impacts on student sleep schedules from in-class exams. These include small sleep loss in the days leading up to event as people spread their studying out over days leading up to, and or a large impact on the night before, what is commonly known as cramming, in order to prepare at the last minute for an exam. Alright, and do you have any experience with classes that gave take-home exams?
Yes.
And so kind of the same question for that. What kind of alterations to your sleep schedule did you notice?
Depending on how long the take-home exam is and how much time I have, I probably will spend like all night doing it because they're usually more difficult. It takes me longer to do them. Chemical engineering midterm I took was take-home was one question. It took me 12 hours to do it through the night.
It took you 12 hours, and how much time were you given? Like, how long did you have the exam?
Like 2 days.
2 days.
Well, during the day I had class and work, so I had to do it at night, like after dinner.
Okay. And did you sleep at all that night?
Nope.
Yeah, I've had several take-home exams. I've had some that are given a 24-hour period, only spend 3 hours on it, or others that have just been like given a 24 or 48-hour period. You can do it whenever. I feel like in general I'm less stressed over take-home exams, so I would probably lose less sleep over a take-home exam than I would over a real exam.
Yeah, so I've had several classes with 24-hour take-home exams, and basically they've all been grad level classes in the EE department.
And how much time will you usually spend on one of these exams?
Yeah, so it's definitely different. Been different for each of the ones that I've had. I think I've had on the order of 4 total, and the first one I spent basically the whole time doing the exam.
And that sounds like it may have modified your sleep schedule a little bit.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it was a curious experience. I had really only ever had like one all-nighter before. I think I was up until like 5:30, and then I went to sleep until like 9, I want to say, and then I woke up and then worked the entire next day until 5 p.m.
And those other exams, I'm sure it was a spectrum, but were there some that you lost no sleep on? Were there some that you lost less sleep than that on?
The majority of them I didn't really lose any sleep.
Okay. So it's a spectrum from no impact to almost a complete shift of your sleep schedule.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would say they generally affect me less than in-class exams. I will probably get a little bit less sleep. Not too much anxiety compared to in-class exams. Definitely affects me a little bit with sleep, but because I can kind of like look at the whole exam and figure out how much time it's going to take me, I can spread it out over that period of time given.
Our study participants all had similar take-home exams. Across different disciplines, they generally had 24 to 48 hours to complete their exam, and all had open note, open book tests. but they actually had a wide variety of impacts to their sleep schedule. They noted that oftentimes there was almost no impacts because they could schedule time to complete the exam almost whenever they would like to. But when we asked them about their most extreme impacts, we had several participants who told us that they had gotten no sleep at least once while taking a take-home exam.
In comparing in-class and take-home exams, there were 3 factors that differentiated them: the magnitude of the impact on the sleep schedule, the consistency of the impact, and the time scale over which the impact took place. Take-home exams were less consistent in their impact, having at times a very high to severe impact in the form of all-nighters, but usually a very low impact as their flexibility allowed students to formulate their own exam schedule. In-class exams had a low to moderate impact that was spread out over the day or days leading up to the exam, while the take-home impact was concentrated on the day the exam was given.
When we asked our participants which form of exam they preferred, they universally said they preferred the take-home exam. This exam generally had less anxiety and less of an impact over the preceding week, but we still need to look at eliminating these all-nighters, the severe impact. One way that we could possibly do this, we got from our interview with Emily. She gave us an example of a 24-hour take-home exam that her professor assigned, but requested that all students only spend 3 hours on the exam. This gives all the flexibility of a take-home exam, but prevents the severe all-nighter sleep impact. And ultimately, we are looking for the least impact to our students' sleep schedules in evaluating exams, because drowsiness is red alert.
Drowsiness is red alert.
Drowsiness is red alert.
Drowsiness is red alert.
Oh, drowsiness is red alert. Wait, what?
I'm so tired, I haven't slept a wink.